Go for it.
All right. Welcome to the podcast. You're listening to Marketing Mondays with Meg, where business owners come to get honest, practical, and smart advice about how to market their business. I'm Meg Hewer, an award-winning marketing and brand strategist, and I'm joined by my producer, Matt Heyer from Berg Brothers Media.
Always good to be here.
Thanks for being here, Matt. And I'm really excited about today's guest. We have Connor Zarefoss, who is joining us. He is a video producer and owner of Berg Brothers Media. These are the guys who produce my podcast. So welcome, Connor.
Right. Thank you, Meg. I am excited that you are here, and I am very excited that I can be here to join you today.
Well, thanks for coming. So Connor does a lot of things, but his superpower is producing outstanding videos for his clients. And so we're going to talk about that, but we also are going to talk about the fact that you're an entrepreneur who's got a successful business, and we're going to talk about how videos can impact a company's business. So let's get started. You have kind of an interesting story. You're a young guy, but you've been an entrepreneur for a long time. So tell us how you got started.
Right. I actually started my venture into entrepreneurship back when I was in high school. I was considered a sneakerhead back in the day. So I bought and sold shoes. I was really big into collecting, always trying to grow my inventory. So with this, I learned a lot about business. I learned about buying and selling, market value sorry, I messed that part up. I learned about e-commerce, and I learned how to interact with people, which was a big part of it that kind of helped me later on in life. But the big thing that I got into with this sneaker business was marketing. I came to find that I actually enjoy the marketing side of it more than the physical shoe side of it, more than anything. Okay. So this was all back in high school, and I kind of took this sneaker business with me to college. Whenever I got into college, I continued to do it. However, my inventory was larger than my dorm room. So I had a hard time managing everything, and there was just several other opportunities that came up. So I kind of phased out of the sneaker thing and got more into the marketing thing once I got into college then.
Okay. So tell us, I know you initially partnered with, was it your roommate or somebody from a friend from college, right?
Yeah, so my freshman year, I went to school for business management, and I knew I was really into the marketing, but I really like creating as well. So I quickly became friends with somebody from my floor. His name was Nick, and Nick was a TV video major. So he was constantly working on all these really cool projects that were way cooler than my projects that I had to work on in school. So I ended up helping Nick out a lot with his projects and having him teach me the ways of video, how to operate the camera, because I was just doing it not really knowing what I was doing at first until Nick came along, and Nick kind of taught me the ropes, and then I started working with several other people in the industry that I was able to learn from.
Okay. And so that was kind of the beginning of Berg Brothers Media, right?
That was somewhat the beginning of Berg Brothers Media. Nick and I started taking on little freelance jobs at the beginning, whatever we could get. We did birthday parties and little things for Robert Morris here and there. And eventually we ended up getting a pretty good paying job, and the client wanted to send us a 1099 form to pay the taxes. So Nick and I said, well, who's going to take on this tax form? Who's going to pay these taxes? And that's whenever we kind of decided, you know what, I think that we can make something out of this. I think that we can do more. Let's just form a business now together. And that's what we did. We split it 50-50 from the beginning. Okay. And then we paid the taxes as a business. So neither one of us had to take on that personal extra taxes.
Yeah, right. And then you eventually kind of took the business and went on your own, right?
Yeah, so Nick has always been really into sports broadcasting. Like I said, he went to school for TV video. So he's a big sports fan, and I think he's always had kind of dreams of working for the MLB or NHL or something like that along those lines. So he actually got a really cool opportunity to work with AT&T Sports here in Pittsburgh, who covers the Penguins and the Pirates. So he took that job offer. And I'm really excited for him. Him and I are still good friends, and we still live together. Okay. So once he took that job offer, then I overtook his 50% of the business. So I'm the sole owner of the business now.
Okay. And so one of the things that I think is really cool about what you're doing is that you have, unlike a lot of video companies that will take pretty much any kind of video work that comes along, you have created a real strong niche for Berg Brothers Media in the real estate business. Tell us how you kind of landed on that.
Right. Well, I didn't necessarily choose real estate. I feel like real estate kind of chose me. So at the beginning, we were taking everything that came our way as well.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
said,
how you have to start, right?
absolutely. You have to feel it out. You have to figure out what you like and what industry you fit best in. Because real estate certainly isn't for everybody either.
Yeah.
So like I said, at first we were doing birthday parties and weddings and product shoots and things for Robert Morris and just random things.
Your website's up here now. We're looking at it. I mean, you have some beautiful stuff.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. We work really hard at it, and we're still continuing to grow too. So hopefully it just continues to get better and better. That's the goal.
Yeah, well, for sure. So it looks like you started doing a couple of videos for real estate agents, right? And it just sort of took off.
Yeah. So it was back when Nick and I were still taking on everything that we could. I actually had a good friend of mine. His name is Nolan Bell with Dynamic Auction Group. Shout out Dynamic Auction Group. They gave us our first real estate video back in the day. It was actually back in my hometown of Somerset, and it wasn't anything fancy. It wasn't, a big, beautiful house or anything like that, but it got our foot in the door, and it gave us that opportunity to see our skill set and see what we were able to do with something like that. So then we took those skills to the Pittsburgh market, and we started reaching out to a few different realtors here in Pittsburgh. And word spreads pretty quick here. The market itself isn't that large, especially the people that are doing a really good job with it. So
we probably all know each other, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So fortunately, towards the beginning, we were able to get in with some larger agents who helped propel us, to the next level, and it spread the word. The word spread really quickly. So that we ended up niching down to almost specifically real estate now because of that. It's just been so busy for us. And we've actually been able to expand the team and bring on more people to help us with the editing now, the shooting process. So it's no longer just me that's involved with it.
So what you did by finding a niche like that is something that a lot of people are afraid to do, right? Because if you say, I'm going to focus on real estate, then that says, I'm not working with the other 98% of the businesses out there. And a lot of people are really afraid to put themselves in that position. But you took that leap. Tell us, was that scary?
Like I said, it kind of came to me.
Organically.
It wasn't something that we took a leap with, to say. What's that?
Would you recommend people do that?
I think I would recommend that you feel it out. You work across multiple different industries because, like I said, it's not for everyone. Real estate is very, very intense. It's very cutthroat. There are very important deadlines that you have to meet.
It's fast moving, right?
It's very fast paced. So if you're not willing to be working 24/7, essentially, you're not going to be able to keep up with it. Yeah. And that's something that I personally enjoy. Being on the run 24/7, always working, but it's not necessarily for everyone. Right. So I think you just need to find what you're comfortable with. Some videographers love working with brides, and they do such a good job at communicating with the bride and the family, and creating this love story essentially out of a video, and that's something that we found with real estate. We're able to create, I don't want to say a love story, but we are able to create a story. We're able to help the audience picture themselves in that environment. And I think that that's something that's important with video.
Yeah, for sure. And I just think that it's really important to be able to, because this is what I tell my clients all the time, is that you can't be just a video producer, because everybody can say that. So to be able to say, I'm a video producer, but I'm an expert in working with real estate people, it attracts real estate people then, because they say, hey, look what he's doing. Do that for me. You know, he really knows what he's doing.
Certainly, I think once you find that thing that you're really good at, I think that you should stick with it. You know, put that behind you and really advertise that specific thing. And that's what's going to help build consistency, you know, with your company. Because before the real estate came along, there was no consistency. So we weren't necessarily always busy all the time.
Yeah, right. And since you've kind of focused on one thing, you've been busy.
Yeah.
So it makes a difference. And that's something we're going to talk about in our next podcast in episode 4. So if that's something you're interested in, join us again. But so I have a question for you. A couple of years ago, I was working with a nonprofit. It was right after the whole ice bucket challenge was a big deal.
Right.
And this client said to me, I want to do a viral video just like the ice bucket challenge. And that's like getting lightning in a bottle, right? I mean, is that going to happen again? Who knows? It's not likely to happen anytime soon. Do you have people say that to you? I want you to create a viral video for us.
Yeah, you know, no one's ever necessarily demanded that, but of course everybody wants the most attraction that they can get towards their video. Right. The thing about viral videos is it has to be something that's either shocking, very compelling, very funny maybe, but ultimately it has to be something that's very relevant. Yeah. And a lot of times, you know, to try to come up with something out of nothing, it's almost like you can't just expect to make a viral video. It almost just has to be unplanned. And a lot of times you see viral videos, they're not professional videos.
It's the cat and the dog or whatever.
They're oftentimes filmed with a phone or a camcorder or something along those lines. So I think, you know, if you are going for a viral video, your best bet is to just turn the camera on and film in a situation where, you know, something might be likely to happen. It's very, very hard to plan for a viral video.
Yeah. So one of the things I see that I think people make mistakes with is they just want to create a video, right? They're like, everybody's creating video. I need to create a video. So they do. And then once they have the video, they don't know what to do with it. So I think that having a video needs to be part of their marketing strategy. Tell us, what do you do once you have a video? How do you promote it?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I see that all the time, and I have people ask me that question, actually, so I'm glad that you bring it up. Certainly, you want to put the video across all social media platforms, and don't forget about LinkedIn, because that's a big one, especially for professional business people. Yeah, right. You know, aside from that, you want to look into creating some sort of ad campaign through Facebook. And if you don't know how to do this yourself, I would highly recommend consulting with somebody that can help set it up for you. Creating a campaign is different than just hitting boost post. Yeah, right. You can see very different results whenever you create a campaign. And if you don't know who to go to, you can go to Zach from Berg Brothers Media to create a campaign. Help you, for sure. To create a campaign for you. But yeah, once you create that campaign, you can really reach a lot of people with that, and you can actually target specific people with it too. Absolutely. So once you get that going, you of course then want to install Facebook Pixel, and that will be able to help track your leads, and then you can retarget those people as well. So you really want to have a grasp of what you're doing after you get the video, because you can reach so many people with a video. You know, it's easy to be scrolling through your feed and get stopped by a video, you know, with a cool opening shot. Right, for sure. For sure. Well, and I think that one of the things too is that you should know before you shoot the video what you're going to do with it. Yeah. You know, so that you're shooting what you need. You know, it's so easy to shoot a video and then afterward you say, well, now we're going to use it for this, so I wish we had done this instead. Absolutely. You always want to make your goals and objectives clear before you even go into the process. Right, right. And so not everybody necessarily needs high quality video for everything. Some things you can shoot on your phone and it's fine, right? So tell us, what situations would a business owner say, hey, I think I'm going to just shoot this on my phone? Yep, you're absolutely right. I mean, video doesn't all have to be about marketing. You know, a great way, you see some of the biggest CEOs in the entire world waking up and posting Instagram stories. And they're doing that because they're building rapport with their audience. Video is about building a relationship with the viewer. So you don't always have to be selling. You know, you can wake up and then tell your audience what you're doing, and most likely they'll be interested in it. You know, they're following you for a reason. So they want to see what you're up to.
Right.
So yeah, certainly you don't have to always come up with a marketing budget to make a video.
Right. So I think sometimes having a really high quality video that showcases your business, that maybe you put on the homepage of your website, that maybe you put in social media or whatever, send maybe in some email marketing things, can be really smart. But there's also a place for some authentic videos out there that's just like get out your phone and talk to people, and so it's a totally different feel, but together the two can be very powerful, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And that all goes with, like I said, just defining your objectives before you think about making the video in the first place.
Exactly.
You know, if your objectives are to create an email campaign, then you're going to structure that video for an email campaign. And if it's something that, you know, deserves of quality artistic style video, then you're going to know that beforehand, you know, as long as you define those objectives.
Right. So I think that's a really key takeaway. Know what you're doing with your video before you shoot it, so you can shoot what you really need.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
what's going to resonate with your customer.
Yes.
You know, for sure. So the other thing that I think business owners get weary of when it comes to video is cost. Everybody thinks, well, geez, it's going to cost a fortune. And sometimes it can, right? You know, you see companies like Nike and Coke doing really high-end videos, but most businesses don't need something like that. Give us an idea if you're a business owner and you want to do a 15-second video or a 30-second video. And I know it can really vary, but just to give people a ballpark so that they know I'm not getting ripped off, you know, or I'm paying too much, or they quoted me such a low price that this might not be very good. Give us some idea.
Yeah, so it's really hard to put a price point to what you should be paying for a video. Again, that really has to do with your goals and objectives. Going back to that, you know, you can, to put it in relatable terms, you can buy a car, for instance, for $500, but that car is not going to get you as far as a newer car would.
Right.
You really want to lay out your objectives before you think about creating your budget too. Somebody whose
good advice.
Somebody whose objective is to build rapport with their audience is not going to put the same sort of budget into somebody who is choosing to market a commercial on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
So it's really about defining that budget and knowing what your goals and objectives are beforehand. It's so hard to give you a number because everybody's different. It's really just looking at the quality of what you're getting, and if the product that you're getting meets those objectives, then that's the goal.
Maybe you could give some tips on things to look for when you're working with a company, so you don't end up getting the bad end of the deal. So you don't end up getting screwed over by a bad company or something.
Yeah. So. Some things to look out for. Of course, you want to look for that consistency in the company. You want to make sure that you check out their website, check out their social media. And if you don't see any sort of consistency, if you see that the company has maybe done one video in the past or, just starting, you're going to be able to see that off the bat. So that's something that, if they're giving you a quote that's much higher than somebody who has that defined portfolio, that's almost like a red flag right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Really good suggestion.
So that's one thing, is definitely just look into what they're doing. Also, you want to make sure that they have a clear idea of what your goals and objectives are too before choosing to pay with somebody. Because if you have somebody that's not interested in what you're doing, they're not going to produce a good quality product for you. So you really want to make sure that they're showing the interest in you as well, and not just doing it for the money to get out and move on to the next thing.
Yeah, because there are people that do that for sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really good quality work out there too. So you just have to look for the right fit for your business.
Yeah, and a good way to go about it is to kind of maybe follow the company on social medias before you choose to pick them to produce your video. You'll be able to see that consistency really quick if they're actually consistent.
Yeah, that's a good suggestion. That's a really good suggestion.
So follow along, give it a little bit of time before you just jump into something. Just do your research.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So every week we give 3 strategies that you can implement into your business this week. So based on what we talked about, I have 3 thoughts, and feel free to jump in here. So the first one is to think about your goals and objectives ahead of time. You know, who is your customer? What are you trying to do with them? And then create a video for that person, and then plan accordingly so that you know up front what you're going to do.
Right. Yep, that's definitely a big takeaway from this. Know what you want before you just assume that the videographer knows what you want. You know, you have to put all the goals and objectives out on the table first, and you guys need to make sure that you're on the same page before you spend that money to make a video.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next thing is that if you can't afford to do a professional video, maybe you start doing some social media videos, do some more authentic videos, and plan down the road to do something on a professional level. What do you think?
Absolutely. Like I said, the key to videos is building that relationship and connecting with the audience. And you do not have to spend a lot of money to do this. You can connect with your audience for free, like I said, by doing an Instagram video or even some sort of behind the scenes video. You know, it doesn't always have to be professional. And a little bit goes a long way.
Some of those behind the scenes ones are the most interesting too.
Absolutely. That's what I mean. It's like people would rather see that than the actual product sometimes, because they want to see the process that goes into it.
Yeah, that's kind of the cool stuff. And I think the last tip then is, if you're considering producing a video, think about how it's going to be used and promote it. Because again, we talked about so many people just shoot a video and then they don't do anything with it. I've heard that so many times. So really think about, how are we going to promote this thing? What are we going to do with it?
Yeah, definitely you want to create some sort of campaign with your video. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but another way to help the video spread is to just ask people to share it.
Yeah, right. And that's such an obvious one. It's probably why you forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people are happy to share it, but they don't think about it until you say, like, hey, can you maybe share this for me?
Right.
And then once you say that, like, oh yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
But they might not think about it at first. So a lot of times you just got to ask.
Yeah, right. And like you said, people are happy to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's it for today. If you like this podcast, please be sure to subscribe so you won't miss upcoming episodes. And if you'd like to join, we have a new Facebook group called Marketing Mondays with Meg, where you can connect with other business owners and ask your questions and share your advice. We'd love to have you with us. And if you want more marketing tips like you've heard today, visit my website, thebrandaccelerator.com, and sign up for my e-blasts, which come out every Monday morning. So thank you again, Connor, for being here. Thank you, Matt, for being our producer and doing a great job again today. Until next week, be sure to inspire other business owners, because together we can change the world. Have a great week.
Awesome.
Thank you. That was good.
That was great.